ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं गुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सगना रघुनाथं मितं तां सजीवं साहदेतं साधुतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगना ललितां श्रीविशाखावितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. Welcome to this discussion on Bhagavad Gita as it is. Um, Today we will be discussing chapter number 6.13 and um, chapter 6. We will discuss chapter shloka number 13 to 14. There is already one recording done on this of the same topic, but the audio was not good. That is why I'm doing a re-recording of this. So it says repeat because there is no audio available right now. In our discussions, we are right now in the second part of this chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga. We are in shloka number 13 and 14, which is realization of Brahman. We discussed on Bhakti Vinod Thakur's writing, which is Jaiva Dharma, Bhajanarasya, Harinam Chintamani, Sri Chaitanya, Shikshamrita. All this are talking about how this Ashtanga Yoga can be applied in service of service of Krishna directly in devotional service. So these 8 steps of Ashtanga Yoga can be applied in any process. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has described in an essay how this can be applied in deity worship. Generally, we have rules and regulations in deity worship, but we can apply these 8 steps as well. So these 8 steps are generic principles which are applicable in path of yoga. They can be applied on other path as well. We as Krishna conscious devotees see how we can apply these principles in our sadhana bhakti. In Vedic literature, in Vedic literature, it described how mind moves forward and up or upward. The mind moves upward into higher and higher states of contemplation. These are classified into 5 states. Let us have a look at that. So they are Mudha stage. Mudha stage is as deluded in sleep or laziness or dullness. This is a stage when one is foolish. Mind is inactive, doing nothing. Um, there is only lethargy, and then shipta is this is a agitated stress stage or a stage of mania. In this stage, the person is stressed. He is unable to focus on anything. He has completely played attention. It is like a small child which is running around. It does not know what to do, but keeps on fiddling different things. This person is in anxiety. He is like a ceiling fan which is constantly in motion, but there isn't any progress. So we see that fan is as dynamism in it, but the dynamism is not rightly applied, so it remains in its place. It is stuck in place. So the person in Shipta stage is stuck in a place and under constant anxiety and stress. This is a hyperactive stage with no result or output. In Vikshipta stage, it is a distracted, noisy environment. We are listening to a lecture, but there is lot of noise in the background. The mind is trying to focus and concentrate, but there is distraction. The student is trying to concentrate on the class or the lecture given by the teacher. However, there is so much noise that he is hardly able to concentrate. There is fundamental interest in the student and desire in the class, but environment is not conducive. Next one is ekagrata stage, concentrated as in a serious student trying to revise the syllabus just before the exam. There is a seriousness to focus, thus mind is controlled. In shloka number 6.12, we see sh- um, Krishna is mentioning Tatraikagram Manakritva Yatat Chittendriya Kriya Upavishyasene Yunjat Yogam Atma Vishuddhaye. So Tatraikagram means it is gathering. There may be things which are attractive to us, which will momentarily disturb us. Mhm. That is what is there in Ekagrata stage. In Nirodha stage, it is controlled as in devotee absorbed in Samadhi, the trance of love. In 6.20, uh, sh- uh, Shri Krishna uses this. Yatro paramate chittam nirudam yoga sevaya yatra chayatmanam atmanam pashyan atmani tushyati. There is no attraction to other things. There is no response to other things. There is only one thing, that is Krishna's service. That is attraction only to spiritual reality. The mind's inclination to other things is lost. This is talked by Krishna in this shloka 6.20. The word Yatro paramate, uparamate means ceasing, because one feels transcendental happiness in service of Krishna. There is a ceasing of everything else. Chittam, Yatro paramate, Chittam means material activities or mental activities. The material mental activities completely cease. Here we need to understand that sense gratification take place grossly at bodily level and subtly at mind level also. Even if we have stopped the bodily sense gratification, the mind may fantasize the sense gratification. At Niruddha stage, this fantasizing at mind level is also completely ceased. This Niruddha stage is like zero in vertical axis. Muda is a negative uh, is in negative stage, and as we travel towards Nirodha stage, we are reaching the zero. Beyond this is the spiritual part. This is a different, the spiritual zone is at a different level. Thing which is just above zero is at a different level of reality. Thus, we have seen how mind matures in the stage of samadhi in the Astanga Yoga system. Now let us go to the next shloka, which is shloka number 15. Yunjanevam sadatmanam yogi niyata manasa shantim nirvana paramam mat samastam atigachati. The word, so the meaning is thus practicing constant control of the body, mind, and activities. The mystic transcendentalist is mind regulated, attains to the kingdom of God or the abode of Krishna by cessation of material existence. Mat Samasta means the spiritual sky, the abode of Krishna, the spiritual side, the kingdom of God. This is very significant verse, a significant point here. Mat samasta atigachati, attains, one attains the abode of Krishna. Many scholars refer the line Shantim Nirvana Paramam as referring to Brahma Jyoti. This line, they say it is referring to Brahma Jyoti. But when we say that Mat Samasta means Mat is directly my kingdom. So Krishna is telling it is his kingdom. This is not a simplistic interpretation or reduction of everything to impersonalism. Krishna is here talking about ultimate reality which yogi attains by practice of yoga sadhana. So Shantim Nirvana Paramam Mad Samastam Atigachati. Cessation of material existence and spiritual kingdom is achieved. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about what is the ultimate goal in practicing yoga is clearly explained. Yoga practice is not meant for attaining any kind of material facility. It is yoga's objective is to practice sadhana, yoga sadhana to attain Krishna. We have to attain Krishna by practice of our sadhana. Srila Prabhupada refutes the point Nirvana Parama. Nirvana Paramam is not referring to void. It is not referring to void, but it is Goloka. It is referring to Goloka, Vrindavana. It is cessation of all material activities, which further leads to the abode of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada mentions one interesting line here. Whether the cessation of material existence enables one to enter into spiritual sky, the abode of Lord. Abode of Lord is also clearly described in Bhagavad Gita as the place where there is no need of sun, moon, or electricity. One who seeks improvement in health or aspires after material perfection is no yogi according to Bhagavad Gita. This is the definition of yoga in today's context. From from Bhagavad Gita, it is clear the purpose of yoga is to end material existence. So Srila Prabhupada has told here that there is no void anywhere in the existence than the head of the voidist. This means these people are not serious thinkers. Srila Prabhupada emphasizes the point that ultimate reality is very beautiful. Is is very beautiful. The material beauty that we experience in our day-to-day life, the material beauty that we experience in our day-to-day life is very beautiful. That has not come from void. The scriptures describe that material reality has come from spiritual reality. Spiritual reality is more beautiful. Material beauty has both beautiful and dreadful side. For example, mountains, lakes, oceans, forests, etc., are examples of beautiful aspects of material beauty. The dreadful aspect includes landslides on slopes of mountains or avalanches on the slopes of mountains, floods in lakes, tsunamis in oceans, dangerous animals in forests. Thus, nature has both beautiful and dreadful side. The kind of variety and beauty that we see in the material world cannot explain its origin from void. These aspects of material world are glorious and its origin in void does not connect properly and logically. The idea of voidness may help a person who considers this material world as place of miseries and wants to go beyond the miseries. This is an example of negation of negative. It does not involve the comprehension of the positive. Though understanding requires both, we need to understand the negatives and also positives. To cure a patient of disease, we have to cure the disease, the negation of the negative, and make the patient healthy, which is comprehension of the positive. This is the wholesome treatment. This is complete understanding. When we see Srila Prabhupada's pranam mantra, Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Desha Tarine. Bhakti Siddhant, we see that Nirvishesha Shunyavadi is voidness. Srila Prabhupada's movement is to drive away the unqualified and voidness, the theories which propagate no qualification and voidness from the world. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj will tell a story. One time the child got cataract eye. Let me share my screen. One time a child got a cataract in his eyes. The father was thinking what to do. That time the big brother of the father came along and said that the child is not able to see, the child is undergoing a pain. The simple solution that the big brother told was to just pluck the eyes and throw them away. Then the another big brother came along and understood the situation. He suggested that it is better to end the suffering once for all. Therefore, kill the child. Then another big brother came and he suggested that the solution is very simple. We can do a simple surgery and remove the cataract from the specific eye. Then the child will be all right. There will be no pain for short, there will be some pain for a short duration during the surgery. And once it is cured, the wound is cured, the pain will go away. These approaches to solve the cataract refers to impersonalist, voidist, and devotees approach. Impersonalist would say, plug the eyes. Voidist would say, kill the child. But devotees will say that let us make a small surgery and remove that extra tissue from the eyes so that the person is able to utilize the eyes. What makes these sense objects attractive? What makes the sense object attractive? So it is our feeling towards the sense objects. Why there are miseries in this world? Impersonalists would say that the world is full of sufferings. The more we get attracted to the sense objects, the suffering increases. The more attachment we have, more miseries we have. Why there are miseries? These are because of the forms in the world which attract the sense object, which attract the senses. These objects create attraction and bind us. So now declare that all sense objects are false. So what makes these sense objects attractive are the form. Therefore, there is no form. All forms are false. All personalities are false. Therefore, in ultimate issue, the impersonalists say that we do not have personality. This theory is like if you have cataract, plug the eyes, reject all form, personality, and relationships. Voidism is like kill the child. If there is a suffering, kill the existence, kill the child. Vaishnava understanding is to know the root cause of the problem. There is a tissue in the eyes which is blocking the vision. So we will remove the eyes. The problem is our self centered, godless living. We get attracted to the form, sense object, and want to enjoy independent of Krishna. This, this attraction to the forms, relations, activities bind us to the material world and cause suffering. On the other hand, when we connect all these things to Krishna, dovetail all our activities in service of Krishna, then all these are avoided. These activities, in fact, purify us, liberate us from suffering. The more a devotee chants, says Krishna, more the devotee moves in spiritual life. Therefore, this Nirvana Parama, it is liberation from material existence and movement into the service of Krishna. Prabhupada's purport here is very beautiful, very beautiful. We can see, in other words, The perfection of yoga system is attainment of freedom from material existence and not some magical jugglery or gymnastic feats to befool innocent people. When some child is able to do something, the other child will see in wonder that the child is doing such a wonderful thing. If some child is able to play cricket, play football well, play some sport brilliantly, that child becomes a hero among the children. Yoga and gymnastics is also now pitched as sports. It promotes health and general well-being, definitely, but that is not the ultimate purpose. It is limit If it is limited to physical and not spiritual, then it is not worthwhile doing this physical exercise. Real purpose of yoga is liberation from material existence. In this chapter, especially chapter number 6, we see Krishna is moving up and down. This means Krishna starts from yoga sadhana and moves towards yoga perfection. In 6.10, he starts with Atmanam Rahasi Stitaha. And then in 6.15, he finishes with Mat Samastam Atigachati. We will see similar trend between 6.16 to 6.23. We will see similar trend from 6.24 to 6.32. All these trends are from yoga sadhana stage to yoga perfection stage. This is process in doses with higher level of perfection. Therefore, now in shloka number 16 is going to start a new thread and thus start a new point here. Na ati ashna tastu yogosti nachaikantam anasnataha na cha ati swapnashilasya jagruto naiva charjuna. There is no possibility of once becoming a yogi, O Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. Krishna is here recommending a balance in life. Srila Prabhupada would say, if we sleep too much, we become lazy. If we sleep too less, we become crazy. We cannot think clearly with irregular sleep. With respect to eating, if we eat too less, we cannot serve Krishna properly with our mind constantly craving for food. On the other hand, if we too much, if we eat too much, the energy for which we are eating is simply used for digesting the food and sleeping. Thus, we do not feel energized by too much eating. Should be a balance. So Krishna in this shloka is talking about balance. The purport is beautiful and instructive. Every purport of Srila Prabhupada is beautiful. Therefore, I repeat this sentence again and again. It is very beautiful. On eating, Srila Prabhupada, on eating, the specific point on eating, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about no need of meat eating. Let us go through the purport. Anyone who eats for sense pleasure or cooks for himself, not offering his food to Krishna, eats only sin. One who eats sins and eats more than is allotted cannot execute perfect yoga. It is best that one eat only remnants of food offered to Krishna. Then on sleeping, one who eats more than required will dream very much while sleeping, and he must consequently sleep more than is required. One should not sleep more than 6 hours daily. One who sleeps more than 6 hours out of 24 hours is certainly influenced by mode of ignorance. A person in mode of ignorance is lazy and prone to sleep a great deal. Such a person cannot perform yoga. As devotees, we tend to sleep less to get things done. The goal is not less sleeping. The goal is more service. Let us consider a situation that we are sleeping only 4 or 5 hours a day. This makes us remain half awake and not able to concentrate. then we find that the optimum duration, that we have not slept for optimum duration, and therefore we become tired. When we sleep for optimum duration, we can do actively our the service to Krishna. There may be some devotees who are doing physical service, therefore they require longer duration of sleep. Therefore, the point is that we should target a mindful service to Krishna. This means good quality attention to detail when we do service. Otherwise, we will not be able to offer our best while doing service to Krishna. Devotee naturally wants to decrease the time spent on body. The serious spiritualists are miserly about giving time to body. Miser is someone who doesn't spend money. They do not give money. Same way, devotees are also miserly with respect to time given to body. This means they take care of the body on need basis, not lavishly. Devotees spend time frugally with respect to body. The body is like a vehicle used in a journey. When we need to maintain the vehicle, we stop and we maintain the vehicle. We should not spend time in admiring the vehicle. We should focus on our journey and reach the destination for which the vehicle is purchased for, or vehicle is available for. We should do that one only. The purpose of the body is to move towards Krishna, make spiritual advancement. We have to stay in this material world for some time to maintain the body according to the service to Krishna, and simultaneously some worldly profession to maintain the body and soul together. This is a criteria to bring balance in our eating and sleeping and service to Krishna. Now let us go to the next shloka. I'll share my screen. युक्त आहार विहारस्य युक्त चेतस्य कर्मसु युक्त स्वप्नावबोधस्य yogo bhavati dukkha. In the previous shloka, it is negation, it is avoidance or don'ts. In this one, there is do's. Yukta ahara means one who is regulated in the habits of eating, sleeping, recreation. Work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. The previous verse is like negation. This verse is positive reinforcement. The word yukta can have many meanings. This is coming from the word yoga. In the Bhagavad Gita, we have three words which are very commonly used: yoga, yogi, and yukta. The basic meaning is connected. In Bhagavad Gita 6.8, we come across the point yukta iti uchyate yogi. Srila Prabhupada translates the word yukta as competent for self-realization. This means the person is very well connected or well situated. So let us take the shloka 6.8. Jnana Vijnana Taptatma कूटस्थ विजितेन्द्रिय युक्त iti uchyate yogi sama lostrasma kanchana. A person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi or mystic when he is fully satisfied by virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self-controlled. He sees everything, whether it is pebble, stone, or gold, as same. In 6.17, Srila Prabhupada translates yukta as regulated. In 6.8, he is translating yukta as competent for self-realization. One who is regulated in eating entertainment, that is yukta ahara viharasya. One who is regulated, one who is competent in eating and sleeping. Entertainment is what is entertainment? Yogi is in jungle. Where is entertainment? Yogi practices meditation. is trying to engage the body and mind in meditation. Sometimes he has to take a break to ensure that body is rejuvenated. It is very difficult to concentrate all the time in sitting postures, in asanas, doing meditation, because asana and meditation is a hard work. Therefore, it requires refreshment by walking in the forest, walking in the jungle, taking bath, drinking water, and to get general awareness of what is happening around him. So, yukta ahara viharasya. Viharasya is recreation to rejuvenate his mind and body. Yukta chetasya. Cheta means one who works for maintenance. Yogi's endeavor should be regulated. Karmasu in discharging duty. His work should be regulated. This is like regulating the hours of work. We cannot take up work which is 15 to 16 hours continuously. This is okay for once in a while, emergency situations when a devotee has to prepare for festivals or functions, etc. This is in case of devotee in a temple. Devotee who is working in an organization, if his job demands long working hour, then it conflicts with the spiritual life. The material life and spiritual life conflict. When they conflict with one another, there is a big problem. Material life and spiritual life should go in parallel. Material life should not take time from our spiritual life. If this happens, then it is undesirable. Therefore, we need to choose a career path which helps us to have intelligence balance between, which gives us a intelligence balance between the um, spiritual life and material life. So, yukta chetasya karma. So, working hard is something which will affect the spiritual life. It will also affect their material life. People will get stressed or their biological clock will get reset. Devotees will have some material responsibilities to fulfill as a part of a responsible person. Devotees cannot run away from material responsibilities citing spiritual reasons. We should think, plan, and act in long term so that we get ample time for our spiritual life. Yukta swapnava bodhasya. So, yukta chetasya karmasu means we need to plan our life properly. Yukta swapnava bodhasya. One should be regulated in his sleeping also. When there is regulation in eating, sleeping, recreation, and working, then what happens? Yogo bhavati dukkha. Ha means killing or ending. Dukkha, this means ending miseries. To practice yoga, material miseries are to be diminished. This can be brought about by regulating our material activities. Without regulation of material activities, the practice of yoga is not focused. Without focused yoga practice, there are no fruitful results. That is why liberation doesn't come about. The cessation from miseries does not come about. If a devotee does not sleep enough and just like that squeeze and chant the holy names here and there while traveling, there is no real heart in things we do for Krishna. That is not focused work, nor is this a regulated work. This can be done in emergency situation. This cannot be a regulated life. This could not be our daily schedule. This is not sustainable, and this is not leading to spiritual environment. Serious spiritual life needs a balance. Though we are connected to Krishna in some way, we need to ensure that our life is regulated. Our our relationship with Krishna is not ad hoc, nor a unregulated life will suit us in long term spiritual advancement. Our advancement in spiritual life requires regulation with material life. Unregulated lifestyle results in disappropriate disproportionate imbalance and indulgence in material life, and we get our consciousness get caught in material life, and therefore our focus moves away from spiritual path. With regulation in place, there is no thinking, it is just acting. This ensures energy is available for doing things for Krishna, doing more things for Krishna. I'm sharing my screen. With regulation, there is no thinking. Therefore, we will have more purposeful engagement. Otherwise, mental energy gets carried away in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. And there is no engagement in Krishna consciousness. Extravagance, Prabhupada is writing, extravagance in the matter of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, which are demands of body, can block advancement in practice of yoga. We can broadly relate yukta ahara to eating, vihara to recreation, which is mating. Chetasya karmashu. Chetasya karmashu means we can do, it is like eating, sleeping, and defending. These are the activities which we do as a part of our karmasu is eating, mating, and defending. These are the activities which we do. And then yukta swapna bodhasya. This is more like sleeping. The use of word extravagance is very significant. We should act for basic needs of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. If there is extravagance in that, then it can block our advancement in spiritual life. It is what Prabhupada is telling here. Then, as far as sleeping is concerned, a Krishna conscious person is always alert in discharge of his duties in Krishna consciousness, and therefore, any unnecessary time sleeping in spent in sleeping is considered great loss. Avyartha kalatvam. A Krishna conscious person cannot bear to pass a minute of life without being engaged in service of Krishna. Time is more precious than money. This is a very common saying, and people take it very seriously. Take it. We have to apply it practically by not wasting time thoughtlessly. We do not give any money casually to anyone, nor nor anyone take away money from us casually. But we can see that we can spend our time not fruitfully. We also waste others' time. When we know how expensive time is, we should be cautious about how we use our time and how we take others' time. Chanakya Pandita says, Ayuksha Shana Eko Api Na Labhyate Swarna Koti Bihi. The meaning is that even a single moment of life cannot be purchased with millions of gold coins. Time is more precious than money. Any moment waste is a great loss. Time is such a rich resource that it has two major properties. One is it is unrecoverable, and another one is it is unstorable. Money can be stored in any place and can be retrieved at a later date. We do not have option whether we have to spend time or not. Time will get spent. It will just pass away. Only option we have is how we can utilize that time, how I can be productive. So Srila Prabhupada uses the term avyartha kalatvam. Let me share my screen. Avyartha kalatvam. Srila Prabhupada is giving a beautiful usage. Srila Prabhupada is not using a Krishna conscious person cannot bear such a nice use of phrase. Cannot bear to pass a minute of life without being engaged in service of Krishna. Is saying not bear. Is not telling wasting. Cannot bear. Devotee cannot bear. Devotee always feels how can I how 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 can I prevent wasting my time? I have so less time for Krishna's mission. I don't want to waste time. A serious devotee is always defined by sense of purpose and sense of urgency. There is so much to do in Krishna's service. Let me do my service nicely. That is how serious devotee thinks. Serious devotee has a sense of purpose and sense of urgency. That is why devotees cannot afford to spend even a minute without being engaged in service of Krishna. Naturally, the sleeping is kept to minimum. Srila Prabhupada always quotes Goswamis who didn't sleep at all at Krishna service. If we try to imitate Goswamis, we will die. It's not possible. So we shouldn't imitate. However, we should get inspired to keep the eating, sleeping, mating, defending to bare necessities, basic necessities required. We generally tend to go on extra side of sense regulation. Can we eat more? The general answer is no. The body, the digestive system sends signals when it is enough. It is safer to always eat less than eat little more. When the body when the body is feeling that the stomach is full, we should end up eating more, and we do not so that we do not waste prasad. Alternatively, if we think prasad should not be wasted, I will complete it, then we will end up eating more, and this extra prasad in your stomach acts like a stone, and we become lethargic. Whatever energy we have, it gets wasted in burning the food, digesting the food. Therefore, we should keep a very good regulation of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. The yogi does these activities to get into samadhi. There are different levels of samadhi. So let us go to the slide on samadhi. So samadhi has two different parts. One is nirodha samadhi, other one is ekagrata samadhi. Samadhi is not just one level. It has different shades from black to white. There are five stages in the mind, namely Muda, Shipita, Vikshipita, Ekagrita, and Nirodha. Ekagrita and Nirodha are stages of Samadhi. And within Ekagrita, there are two groups. One is Sampragnata and Asampragnata. Sampragnata Samadhi is further classified into Savitarka and Savichara. Now, in general, mind is wandering over dozens of things. In Sampragnata Samadhi, mind is focused on one thing. In material world, Krishna manifests in different paraphernalia like holy name, deities, image. When we fix our mind on these manifestations of Krishna, that stage is samadhi. In this samadhi, the mind is conscious of material level of reality. That is cognitive stage. And there is spiritual focus. At higher level, there are no emotion. That stage is called as asampragnata samadhi. Here, there is no material reality. The mind is situated in spiritual reality. Within Sampragnata Samadhi, the Savitarka Samadhi is the focus is on material aspect like tip of nose or the gap between the two eyebrows or some external mudra or yantra. The idea here is that we do not want to move from low level of material reality to um, we have to move from low level of material reality to higher level of spiritual reality. Here we take support of some external object. This is not a higher level of concentration because we still dependent on external objects. The higher level is that we can take an internal concept and concentrate on that. This focus is also material, The object of focus moves from physical, mental, and then spiritual. When the object of focus is physical, then it is called as savitarka, where the center of focus is a theme or a concept which is in the mental platform. Then the samadhi is called as savichara samadhi. This is based on thought. Is the thought bad? It is not bad, but it is material. This is because our consciousness is still in the material plane. This then means that we are not at spiritual consciousness. However, the point is that the material thoughts in the state of mind helps us to move towards spiritual consciousness. This is Savichara Samadhi. Uh, these concepts are from Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. There are many commentators, there are many books on this which explains the concepts in a much deeper way. The next level of samadhi is asampragnata. This consciousness itself, here the consciousness itself is at a spiritual level. The yogi is considered to have attained spiritual perfection. This is at yogic path level. There is a statement in Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta viruddhi, chitta vritti means movements of mind. Yoga brings stillness to movements of mind. The material movement of consciousness is completely stopped. This is the understanding of progressive perfection with respect to path of yoga. What is bhakti? So there is samadhi in regular yoga. How is samadhi in bhakti? What is the understanding of samadhi from bhakti point of view? In bhakti, there is no necessity to have cessation of physical or mental activity. In fact, we need not have to get into this sampragnata, savichara, savitarka. These are all not important. There is so this is not the essential part. It is stimulation of activity at devotional level. There is perception of higher reality. There is participation in higher reality. Now, what is difference between perceiving and participating? So this is something which requires a deeper understanding. We will discuss this in our subsequent class. Thank you very much. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. ग्रंथराज भगवद गीता की जय. जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय. गौर प्रेमानंद. हरि हरि बोल. हरि हरि. हरे कृष्णा.